Day 3 down. Oh, it feels so good to have not gone to Crossroads tonight. I needed this break desperately because I had a vote thrown on me last night, and I am so glad that my name couldn't even be tossed out as an option. Splitting to 4 groups of 4, I'm okay with it. I'm okay. I feel good about my group. I'm so relieved to have 2 other Team Georges on Team Blue. Annie is a great addition as well. 17 years old, wild. She is, she's not a child, but man, she's in high school. How cool is it that she's out here playing this as well? I am really, really happy to have Jess on my team. Jess is such a kind, genuine person. She wears her heart on her sleeve, and what she does, the kind of person that she is, I just like. Honestly, I'm clocking it because I'm not going to vote her out, not yet at least. No one will. So that kind of makes her a threat. I mean, she said herself she was shocked that she didn't get votes last night or that she wasn't voted out last night, and it's because no one wants to vote her out. Ryan, I'm happy that he and I have a chance to have a bond, a reason to work together being on Team Blue. He's someone who does concern me a little bit because I think he's going to be really good at this. I think he's someone to watch out for. I think he knows what he's doing, and he's keeping his cards close enough to his chest that, down the line, I don't know. I could see him shifting a target onto me. But for now, navigating this new phase of the game, 4 groups of 4, well, not anymore, I guess. I feel good. Not comfortable, but I feel good. I hope that Joseph is okay. I hope he didn't have to use his compass tonight. We all, Jess and Ryan and I were pretty quick to say, let's save Team Red, because having 4 Sandra members off the table gave Team George the numbers. And I'm hoping that Team George didn't fracture and that we were able to give them the upper hand so that they can take out someone from Team Sandra. It was great to get some information on Team Sandra from Annie, getting to sort of formulate what our next plan of attack is for the next phase of the game, whether it's another swap or a merge, I think is going to be important right now, especially since Team George and Team Sandra aren't going to come back together. At least I'm not anticipating that if there's another swap, it's going to be swapped back to your original group. So all I can do is keep doing what I'm doing, keep winning. It'd be great to get another win at the next exemption challenge. But all in all, again, feeling okay. And feeling okay is not the worst place to be. So I'm just going to keep plugging away. We'll see what happens. And I'm going to sleep well tonight. I can't wait. Oh, it's going to feel so good. Ready to go.
Okay, call me an asshole. I can't keep doing that. I can't keep... I didn't think I'd like going to tribals. What I don't like is sitting around for an hour and a half. I like my grouping. In terms of safety, I like my grouping. Would I have liked to have 4 people from George? Yeah, that'd be amazing. We almost guaranteed safety in that case. But 3 is good, and it's a person who I want to build a relationship with in Thomas, and someone that I already have a relationship with in Jess. But God, that was the whole call was so frustrating. I've never seen 2 people willingly spill more information. Just like Thomas asking, "Oh, who do we want to work with?" Which I get the sentiment of, but we have no loyalty to Annie. Annie could go at a next tribal and go right to the Sanders and say, these 3 are super close, and they had these conversations, blah, 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 and vote out one of us. That's why my only goal in that conversation was to not say anything. To stay quiet. I recognized Annie was a quieter player. I was like, I want to be quiet so she at least relates to me in that sense. But, there's not even anything you can do there. The extent that I tried was I was like, Do we want to like take the last 25 minutes and jump around how we did at tribal yesterday, or at Do we want to take 20 minutes and jump around like we did at Crossroads the other day? And they shut it down fast, and then I had to cover my ass being like, oh, I just don't know. Some people have different communication styles. Like I know we're saying a bunch of names that Annie doesn't know at all, so I didn't want to like keep throwing this down her throat. Blah blah blah. Which I know makes me seem cagey, but it's the extent I wanted to talk to her one-on-one. I wanted to talk to Thomas one-on-one. I wanted to check back in with Jess, and you can't do that if we sit there for an hour and a half and make small talk. Or not even, it's not even, if I went to small talk, it's the part where we spill large portions of our game and our loyalties and how votes went and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I think so winning the challenge was awesome. Don't get me wrong. That was awesome. I continue to get the puzzle position because I just say it fast and I feel rude and I really should stop and just let someone else have a turn at that. Because I could have pulled toilet paper off a toilet paper roll. But, I think we made the right decision. Sending Red with any of those two tribes would have been, or I think we made the right decision. Sending Red with any of those two camps or teams would have been bad. It would have been guaranteeing a George leaves. A lot of the people on George that I like are over there and unfortunately split. Like it's like Aaron and Eli are on the same one, so it's nice that I can look out for like not send them to tribal if we have to pick one. But Austin's on the one with Kara and Joseph, and I don't want Austin to leave. So it's a weird balance. Annie is saying that if we went with Red, that we would be fine, that there are options that she would consider, that she has a good relationship with Barr at least, but it's a very easy position for her to say. She is in the opposite board with us where there's only one vote that she could go to that's bad, whereas we have, or there's one that she could go to that's good. We have only one that we can go to that's bad, unless in the event where we get sent with the 3-1, but then we just vote out Annie and pray that she doesn't have an advantage. So it's messy, and it's not messy in a game sense. It's messy in I don't like showing my cards to a random stranger when I don't have to, if I haven't had the opportunity to talk to them more personally. And I hope me staying quiet has had some reflectance of Annie enjoying that more as someone that doesn't like the one-on-one chats and felt like she was getting talked over on Sandra by some people. So I'm hoping she doesn't see that in me. And if we go to Red and someone has to leave, that she says a Thomas or Jess before me. That's all I can ask for, is one more step. But yeah, it's a weird boat because you want to win these challenges, but at the same time, I don't want to keep screwing my allies on the other tribes. And I feel like I'm just going to keep getting thrown into that. So I'm praying we just get out of this form and we get back into normal tribes. I'd be happier to get swapped to minority. Or I hope we keep staying, we get out of this cycle and we go into different camps or different teams. And I'd be happy to be outnumbered on a team. If it means that I can play the game and make these relationships and talk about the game. Maybe I'll eat my words and you'll cut this clip again in 2 rounds when I'm voted out. But we will see, I suppose.
All right. Honestly, I think that today was a successful day. Although there are a few speed bumps. So we come into camp. We're not really talking about anything in particular, but we're all thinking that it's kind of weird that, you know, we haven't been given a video yet to prepare for the challenge. And we're just jumping right in. So we go in there, and me thinking we haven't really gotten a video. I'm kind of expecting something to happen And sure enough, they announce a twist. And the twist is we're dividing it to 4 parties of 4. And I think this could go really well for me or really poorly. And unfortunately for me, I am the only Sandra on my party. I was the second to last one picked, and I was hoping and praying that I would be on Team Purple so I could be with Rocky and then it'd be a 2-2 split. But no, it is me and 3 other Georges. Fortunately enough, we win the challenge, so I'm safe. And honestly, in a scenario where there's either another twist or we just keep on winning challenges, I feel good, because that time where that like uninterrupted 2 hours of just talking to these people was awesome. You know, we didn't like do any major strategizing or go into any breakout rooms. We were just talking, the 4 of us, for 2 hours straight. And I feel like that time to just form bonds with these people is so important, because like I feel very connected to them. And even in those conversations, I was doing self, like, just like looking upon myself and being like, okay, like, I think that at this point in the game, 3 days in, it has made a big impact on me already. And talking to these 3 people from George, especially Jess, like, I'm feeling good with them. But of course I know that if we lose, I am going to have to pull something out of my hat. You know, I need to find an advantage in case that we lose, because I know that even if we've made these bonds, like, I'm still gonna be the odd man out, and they're gonna vote me out if push comes to shove. So I know that I need to find an advantage just to just to have some insurance. But I think that if we can move out of this portion of the game together as a 4, and I can pull in my people, I think that we could make a good block, a good majority. Yeah. Because honestly, like, at this point in the game, that was the most anybody has gotten to know each other. And for me, personally, talking to them was so much easier than talking to a lot of people on Team Sandra. Just because I feel like they were very just, like, down to earth and, like, just had fascinating things to say. You know, Jess, her stories were just amazing. The things that she's done is amazing. And I absolutely love talking to them. Also, the fact that we were in a group the entire time definitely helps, because, once again, I feel very uncomfortable in one-on-ones. So, like, the fact that we were in a group just talking to each other helped me feel more comfortable. So it helped me share myself more, you know? But I feel good in a sense that if we move further into the game together, I feel good with them. But from a, you know, day-to-day standpoint, I definitely need to find an advantage to cover my own butt in the case that we do go to Crossroads, you know? So that's how I'm feeling.
Guess what I am doing? I am ruining a t-shirt and making it say glory or death, because the team decided that we were all going to get purple shirts with glory or death on it, and we were going to wear them tonight. Well, I don't have time to go out and get a purple shirt, so I am ruining this one. And I'm currently trying to make it look less like a ransom note and more like letters are supposed to look. This is one of those things that I do not want to do. She can come in, she just can't talk. I do not want to do, but I want to fit in with the team. You know, they are more younger than me. And so me being like, oh, I don't want to ruin a shirt. This isn't enough notice. It didn't seem like the best idea for me strategy wise. So I am here with a board because you need a board or else you're going to do this to your carpet or whatever you use. And I'm ruining a shirt. Okay. We went into the challenge room, and they randomly called our names to be on different color teams. So different color parties. So they he was like, how does everyone feel about that? And I am like, oh no. Because what I was thinking was, yesterday I bombed out. And then in tribal council, Team Sandra got to see me really down on myself about it and really tried to project kind of, I mean, it was real, but it was also, you know, I was projecting weakness because I was trying to, you know, I don't know, the whole thing. So I didn't want them being like, oh, Jess is on our tribe. Shit, she sucks. Let's get rid of her first. But Team George lucked out pretty much with what happened. I got to keep Ryan, which is very exciting. And then me. And then Thomas came. And we have one person from Team Sandra, and her name is Annie. She is a very young, very sweet girl. She's 17. She has her whole future ahead of her. And we tried to make her feel included and bonded. But the thing was that we won exemption. So we got to pick one other team to win exemption. The only situation we could figure out where I could figure out where we would keep the George people the safest would be to give Red an exemption. And that did keep 4 Sandras safe. But it also made the numbers much better for us tonight. So really good. Really good for me. Ryan is definitely, you know, good. Thomas. Was a little worried about Thomas because I felt like he was pretty loyal to Megan. And in my thoughts last night, I was thinking that everyone voted for Megan, but maybe and Megan probably voted for me, and then Kara and Tom voted for each other. I don't know. Tom was, I think, unless I'm remembering this wrong, I think Tom today was really like slipped in that he voted for Megan and he said it unnecessarily, which makes me wonder. Beyond that, we just tried to bond a bit today. I was a little more vulnerable than I might have been because I feel like Thomas, I don't know, I didn't feel confident in Thomas. And I felt like maybe if he knew a little more about my story, he would like me a little more or he would feel connected to me. And I don't always want to share like things about my past or like hard things, but I wanted to bond with him. I think that's it for today. If I think of something else, you know what else? I know what else. Um, Annie really wants to keep Bar and Rocky safe and feels like Bar would want to keep Courtney safe. So that was good to know.
Day 3 of expedition was god awful, horrible, no good, very bad, terrible. I hated it. I have a stomach ulcer. I have mouth ulcers. Let's get into it. To start, we had a big twist. We get to the exemption challenge and we find out that we're going from 2 parties to 4, Cook Island style. I was mortified. I was so scared. I was red. My face was hot. My ears were hot. I was just nervous that I was going to get put with like 3 original Sandras, like by myself, you know what I mean? And so that was not ideal for me. But it worked out the way that the parties kind of divided. One party is all 4 original Sandra. 2 parties are 3 George, 1 Sandra, which benefits our numbers. And the party I'm in with Aaron is me and Aaron, and then 2 Sandra, Courtney and Kristen. So we go to the challenge. Courtney bombs it, but whatever, shit happens, I don't care. And it turns out that the blue party wins, which is 3 of our original George, Thomas, Ryan, and Jess, plus Annie from Sandra's team. And since they won, they get to pick one other team to be exempt with them, and they played the smart route. I wanted them to pick us at first because I didn't want to go to Crossroads, but they picked the team of all 4 original Sandras, just because if those 4 original Sandras went to Crossroads like we did with a joint Crossroads, no matter which party they went with, the George would have been in the minority. So taking them out of the equation put George, no matter who went, up in numbers. So we go back to our individual beaches at first. And so our beaches, like I said, Aaron and I, and then from Sandra, we have Courtney and Kristen. Aaron and I bonded really well with Courtney and Kristen. I think at first we were saying, like, let's vote for Rocky because we felt so good with these 2. But then when we split off, Aaron and I were kind of teasing out different options, thinking maybe we should go for Kristen. The reason, Kristen, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but the reason we went for Kristen is because, number one, her and Courtney told us from the beginning that they're super, super close. It also seemed like Courtney folded a lot faster than Kristen. Courtney wrote down Rocky's name and showed us on her whiteboard before we even went to the vote. We had like 40 minutes left, and she was like, look, I'm doing it. I promise you, I'm doing it. And so that was good. And then Kristen also, I feel like she probably just checked Courtney a little bit too much. Like, for example, Aaron and I got into that camp and they said we're so close. And I was like, oh, well, Aaron and I actually hate each other. And then Courtney was like, oh my God, you guys hate each other? What happened? And Kristen was like, read the room, Courtney. Like, read the room. Like, obviously, like, checking her like they're kidding. So the plan was, once you go to your individual beaches, you will go to a joint beach with the other party that's going to the Crossroads tonight. So it's 8 people all together, 1 beach, 1 vote, 1 person booted. I was nervous. I don't have a good connection with Joseph at all. Joseph told Megan before last night's Crossroads that I threw her name out, which 1, wasn't even true, and 2, just pissed me off, and 3, it's weird that you want to kiss someone's ass as they're going out the door. Whatever, do your thing, Bubba. And then Austin's also on that tribe, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but I thought Austin and I were like casual, like we're cool, nothing big, nothing bad, like whatever. And then Kara and I have been locked in since the first What's Up challenge. And then they had Rocky from Sandra's original tribe. Rocky didn't get to the challenge, so everyone's thinking Rocky's an easy vote. So as we get to this now merged group on the beach where all 8 of us are now bouncing around, we find out Rocky has an idol. We also hear through the grapevine, the whisper in the winds are telling us Rocky might be playing it for Kristen. I said, wait a minute, we're voting for Kristen. You can't do that. So us original Georges are thinking, let's vote for Kristen. 1, that saves the purple party's cushion of Rocky. If we get rid of Rocky, then they go back to Crossroads, and we're really screwed. And it gives us a cushion as well. Well, it kind of weakens us. Like, I think Aaron and I want to go into the rendezvous looking like, I kept saying, like 2 beaten down puppies. Like, we want to be that Shannon Ricard. Like, I want to walk into that and be like, please, someone help us. Look at us. We barely made it. Like, I want them to look at us that way. So if we get rid of one of ours, it doesn't matter. We'll go into the next exemption challenge with 3, and it'll look like the way I want it to look. So we go through the vote. Rocky plays his idol, and this kid has no poker face, no game, no nothing. He's sitting there every time the word compass comes out. He's like, chill out, Bubba. We know you have the compass. We know you're not going to play it for yourself, because what he did is he threw everyone under the bus. He threw me under the bus. I'm voting for Eli. I'm voting for Eli tonight, and you should join me. I'm like, okay, relax. And he goes, Kara, Eli told me he's voting, or someone told me Eli's threw your name out. That shit woke me up. I was ready to go. Like, my neck started to get red. I was like, oh, really? I said, you want to be open and honest? Let's get open and honest about it. Like, you want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. Wake it up. I said, Kara and I have been locked in since day 1. Last night when Kara thought she was getting votes, I was the one who said, shut that shit down. Settle that down. We're not doing that. So now you want to say I'm throwing Kara's name out? And I said, and Kara and I just talked before we left. We were sitting together talking about how to get rid of you right when they said, Crossroads time, Crossroads time. So what are you talking about? And then Erin came in, she goes, yeah, I never heard that either, Kara. And then Courtney comes in and goes, I didn't hear that shit either. And then Kristen comes in and goes, I'm gonna speak for myself, and I didn't hear that shit either. So Rocky blew his shit up. I think he was trying to throw anything to the wall and see what stuck, and it was a bad move on his part. Best of luck, Bubba. I hope you can continue to find these compasses. I hope you can continue to find advantages. You're going to need them. You're going back to a party with your tail between your legs because you wasted your compass. You threw 2 people under the bus that were going to work with you, and now you're going back to a party where you're down in numbers by 3. So I wish you the best. What's that, Ika from Canada? If you shoot for the baddest bitch in the house, make sure you don't miss. That's how I feel right now. Moving forward, 2 things. 1, Austin is now up on my shit list with Joseph. Allegedly, Austin told Courtney right before the vote for Eli. Iffy there, because 1, why would you tell Kara that if you're not doing it? Like, if you're trying to rally those numbers, why wouldn't you jump on board too? Which makes me think too that he just was dissuading Courtney, thinking like, let's just get these original Sandras off their game. And the last thing I'll say is that Courtney, Erin, and I are locked in. Like, there's no separating the 3 of us. I think we really bonded. I think taking out Kristen was really tough on Erin and I, especially just listening to what her charity was. And I feel horrible about getting rid of her. I wish it was Rocky. He's a punk. Kristen's a queen. And I didn't want her to go at all. So I think that now, because of that, Courtney, Erin, and I are like really the 3 flames, we call it, from the Orange Party, and we're just gonna lock in and just move forward. We got people from Original George we're gonna bring, and she's got people from Original Sandra she's gonna bring, and it's over for everyone.
Very boring, very normal, nothing too interesting at that crossroads, except, oh my gosh, that was so tense and so turbulent, and I was sweating the entire time. Luckily, our plan went the way that we wanted it to. I loved getting to know Kristen and her story, but it made so much more sense numbers wise to get rid of someone on myself and Eli's party, just to give us a numbers advantage. It means that if we lose the next exemption challenge, then we have, we could pick off Courtney, and we don't have to go to a rock situation. But if the other party loses the next exemption challenge, then they still have Rocky as a buffer in case they need someone to pick off as well. So it just made sense numbers wise. It killed me though, because like I said, I really, really loved getting to know Kristen, but unfortunately, just kind of how it worked out. So I'm getting a little nervous about Eli. He is making a lot of deals with people, and I would love for Eli to be someone who is an asset to my game in the sense that he shields me. If he's perceived as the string puller, then I won't be perceived as the string puller. But at the same time, I'm starting to feel like Eli is potentially a liability to my game. I want to keep going. When I say that I feel that he's a liability to my game, this is something completely long-term. In the short term, having Eli here definitely benefits me. So these are just things that I'm thinking about moving forward. Potentially, if I make Rendezvous, I have a feeling that Eli is starting to get a really big target on his chest. I also feel like being as honest and open with Rocky as I was last night, I feel like maybe I haven't bought his trust, but that I have that door open in the Rendezvous if I want to try to make something happen with Rocky. I said in my last confessional I wanted to connect with Ryan. I still really want to connect with Ryan. I'm so sad that we got put on opposite parties, because I really want to work on that relationship, because like I said in my last confessional, I just feel like Ryan is someone I can be super candid with, and I would love that moving forward. He's someone I could be as candid with as I am with Eli, except I feel like Ryan might be slightly less messy. So that's kind of what is on my mind. I also miss Jess. Jess is just such a comforting energy, and I miss having her around. So I'm sad about the swap, but at the same time, I'm glad that we could sort of push the numbers a little bit further in the Original George, and push the numbers into the Original George party's favor with that crossroads last night.
Tonight sucked, y'all, okay? I guess this is my final confessional, goodbye, final words, whatever the hell you want to call it. I was sitting very pretty, because I do genuinely care about people, and was making great connections with Team Xandra. And then we had a swap of 4 parties. One party happened to be for Team Xandra. 2 of those happened to be 3 Team George and 1 Team Xandra, and then my party happened to be a 2-2 split. The challenge was that one person would solve a Rubik's puzzle while the other 3 had to unravel toilet paper. So I will preface this by saying that the one person on Team Xandra that I did not want to end up with, because they are complete and utter chaos, and normally I love chaos, but not in this way, was Courtney. Courtney is, as nicely as I can put it, a shit show. Sweet girl, but complete shit show. So our Rebus puzzle person finally solved it third. So we were 6 players down, basically, at this point, to unravel our stuff. So basically, the first party that won was safe, and then they got to pick another party safe. So I was, like, not feeling great about it. I heard that one from Blue was done. I was unraveling like a madman, finished. So I was second, like, out of 6 other people, or, 5. And then Erin, who was also on my new party, she finished right after me. So we had 2, and I was like, oh my god, we actually might be able to pull this off. Like, this is incredible. Lo and behold, I come up to the camera, and what the hell is Courtney doing but sitting there staring at her face in the camera, and she had not even started. She messed up yesterday. She messed up today. All because you can't follow simple instructions. Like, this is not rocket science. It's unraveling freaking toilet paper. And you can't say that you didn't hear, because, like, your face was right by the camera. She heard. She just doesn't understand the whole thing. Anyway, so Party Blue, which was 3, George and Annie, poor Annie, they had to choose who to pick. Instantly, I'm like, there's no way that they are letting Team Red, which was 4 original Xandra, go to tribal with anybody, or crossroads with anybody. And if they were, then they were probably the 4 dumbest people, and I'm saying 4 because it's a party of 4, but 3 dumbest people, meaning George people, because Annie was just, she had to basically go along with anything at that point, to save herself. Which, okay, so they turned out to be smart people. So they, of course, saved Team Red, which left original Team Xandra down 5-3. We were going as a joint tribal council, and basically we get into our base camp, and Aaron and Eli say, oh, we don't want to strong arm you, but we're basically going to strong arm you, because that was our Team George people telling us that we had to take a shot at Team Xandra, and so we're going to do that, and so, like, we want to hang out with you guys, so how do you feel about Rocky? So, of course, like, Courtney and I are like, yeah, like, we want to be here. We're, of course, going to take out Rocky. So then, of course, they want to talk by themselves. Like, not only are you strong-arming us, but then you're sending us away. You guys have horrible social game, if that's how you're going to play that off. Like, it's so stupid. Neither here nor there. They had the numbers, so they didn't have to, like, appease us in any way, shape, or form. So, of course, Courtney and I get in a thing. When I tell you all, again, this girl is so sweet. I don't have an ill will towards her, but God, she is probably the worst Survivor player that I've ever seen in my life. I don't care if you're a new person or not. At least you have the girl can't shut up, like, to save her life. She's always constantly talking over people. She's always constantly just, like, she's a lot. So I tell her, Courtney, we have to go along with this plan. To take it, like, it's the last thing that either one of us wanted to do, but we are literally sitting here 5-3, and they could even split it if they want. They could do a 3-3 or 3-2, and they still can, like, no matter what, they're coming out on top. I said our only bet right now is to go along with this plan, one, hope that Rocky has a compass, or two, that there is some turmoil happening because of all their crazy votes last night. So then, of course, we come back as our 4. I never once got to get in a room with Eli or Aaron, which was frustrating. And then it was all this kumbaya bullshit. And then, like, Courtney crying. And again, her personal things and, like, her charities and all these types of things, like, I'm with that. In all reality, I don't even know why we're discussing this, because Courtney should have been going because she cost us the challenge. Twice. But they were all like, oh, we love your energy, blah, blah, blah. You love her energy, because you haven't dealt with her. That's going to wear off. So anyway, so then we get to so we were in our original, like, those 4 and 4. Then we get together because we're doing a manager thing. It's all 8 of us. We're flopping back and forth. Of course, the first thing, again, that Team George does, like, Team George is smarter than this, and the fact that they're being coached by him, like, you guys are idiots to ever say, we're gonna talk, and you 3 can go talk. What are you doing? Again, you guys have the numbers, fine, but, like, for your future games, that's a stupid thing to do. And so we get in a room, so Rocky, myself, and Courtney, and Rocky goes, I have a compass. God, in that moment, did I hate every moment that he decided to reveal that with Courtney, who can't shut her mouth about anything, and he decided to reveal that. And so we decided that if we did not get back together, that we would, all vote Eli, and Courtney and I were going to stick with the plan of playing it off that we were going to vote Rocky. We were going to keep it secretive. We talked about him, like, kind of just blowing it up, and I was like, no, because then they're going to split, and they still have the numbers to split, and which, again, Courtney's just so out there that people won't vote against her because they can always take her out because she's an easy vote. And so that would have been me. So I was really happy to hear that Rocky wanted to keep that secret. So lo and behold, we go to Crossroads and we take a bathroom break. And as I had turned off my camera, and as I'm walking away, I had seen, I have these people, I don't even know what they look like because I didn't even, like, actually get in a room with them, but I'm pretty confident that it was Austin, and I saw him mouth on mute, Rocky has a compass. Really frustrating, because then I'm like, I'm done. Before anything had happened, I knew if Rocky had let somebody know he had a compass, that I was done. And some of them were, like, picking up on that, but others were not. As I walked away, I had to, like, run, and then, of course, I was late coming back because then I just was watching to see their reactions at that point, and so then I had to run to go to the bathroom, and then I came back, and anyway, we're at Crossroads. Everything's fine at this point, like, everything's going according to plan, and then, again, this Austin guy, I swear, if it's not Austin, I'm really sorry, but Austin decides to bring up that somebody on the original Orange tribe, or Orange party, which is my party with Courtney, has the compass. That is definitely not true. I didn't have crap, trust me. And Lord knows that Courtney can't figure anything out, so Courtney didn't have it. So I was, like, really shocked. I was like, what are we talking about here? Like, why does somebody on Orange have it? And so I was like, oh, okay. So now we're going to try and pin things on Kristen, because that's where that was leading. And so then we were going to go vote. And then another one, I think it was Joseph. Oh, gosh. He was like, wait, Austin, you had brought up something. Is this something to go with the vote? Austin's like, I don't know if this was something that we need to consider or if it was a Hail Mary. And then Rocky decides to open his mouth. And he's like, I'm not gonna lie, yeah, he's talking about me, and I had to play it off that it was a Hail Mary. Like, I know my back's against the wall, and I had to play this off as a Hail Mary. And I was like, oh my gosh, cool. Okay, he's playing this off really good. That it is a Hail Mary, and he doesn't have a compass. He's basically saying everything and anything to stay. And so I was like, okay, perfection, because then they'll all vote Rocky, and he'll play his compass. Well, then lo and behold, here comes freaking Courtney with her, oh, he has a compass, I don't, like, where on earth, why? Just why you decided to do that? So then, apparently, in the conversation that Rocky had when he told Austin that he had a compass, he also said that he didn't want me to go, which, thank you, Austin. And then, like, Courtney's all like, oh, Chris and I are best friends, we're working together. Like, that, none of these things. Stop bringing up Kristen's name. So then, Austin decides to open his mouth and was like, oh, well, seeing how Courtney just threw you under the bus and you wanted Kristen to stay, then obviously Kristen's the one in this. So I said, I'm so sorry. No. No one's going to speak for Kristen unless you're Kristen. And I'm not, we're going to stop this right now. I've never thrown anybody under the bus. I've not said anything. I have talked to and I had my plan with the people that I was on a party with, and I'm sticking to that. And that's neither here nor there. So again, nobody is going to speak for Kristen unless you're Kristen. At that point, I know my writing was on the wall. I already saw it. I mean, and we're talking, literally, Jonathan's like, let's go to Crossroads or let's go to the voting booth unless somebody has something to say. And that's when I think it was Joseph that asked Austin this. So, like, I was feeling pretty okay. Like, I was not feeling confident whatsoever. But I was like, I feel like Rocky had played it up to the point where maybe there was enough, like, confusion that more people would vote for Rocky than myself, that we would come out on top of this. So anyway, with that, I knew I was gone, because they had already decided. So that's why I kind of got a little bit more heated and aggressive towards Austin than I ever would have. And that's honestly, anybody that knows me knows that was not really aggressive. But no one is ever going to speak for me. Had I thought I had a chance to stay at that point, I probably would have been a little bit more tactful about that than I was. But at that point, the writing was on the wall. So, of course, everybody comes back from voting. I voted for Rocky. Like I said, I was going to. But basically, at that point, like, 'cause I was going to vote Eli with him. I was going to make that 3 vote. But at that point, it was basically a pointless vote because he was going to play his idol, and I was the one that was getting the backlash of that. And so I basically had to throw my vote for no reason. There was just no point to me even voting, honestly, at that point. Really frustrating night. Go Team Sandra, but basically go the people that I felt really connected with, which was Bar, Josh, Aaliyah, Joshy T.
Okay, day 3. When we got to camp, no one decided to split off and talk about the hinky votes that happened last night. So I was very happy that happened. Everyone just talked about their day. Tribe camp was pretty normal. Nothing really went on. Nothing untoward. Anyway, everyone was pretty friendly. I think people are still getting to know each other. And then shit hit the fan. I think maybe we jinxed it, but Team George, who came in our Glory or Death t-shirts, episode title, by the way, Glory or Death, we thought maybe this might be an opportune time for a swap to happen. Little did we know, we weren't expecting such a big swap. I think everybody was a bit gagged about how we got split into 4 teams. Everyone was really surprised. Now, I was really worried because I didn't want to end up being, for lack of a better term, swap effed, swap fucked. You can bleep it out if you want. But the way that my cards were dealt were pretty good. It could have been amazing where we had all 4. Actually, I think getting swapped onto a tribe of 4 with 4 people from the original one and you don't win at that time didn't seem that great. So I was very happy that I was with Austin and Cara. Poor Rocky wasn't there when it happened and he just showed up. I hate to say it, but I think Cara is slightly warming on me. I take back what I've said about Cara, but when I first got swapped, I was like, fuck, great. Got stuck with the one person that I find is the most boring person in the entire world. But I think she's opening up. And I'm curious to find out why she wanted to be on Team George. I still think she's a secret sociopath. That would be a nice package because she looks amazing. Her makeup, she comes with her hair done, with her makeup done, her fairy lights in her room, gives me like American Beauty, Sweetheart Next Door vibes. And I kind of like that. And I was very happy to be with Austin because I love Austin. I think we get along really, really well. So I was very happy with that. And I actually hadn't met Rocky. Well, obviously, I hadn't met Rocky. And when Rocky was on our team, I was like, great. We have 3-1. The numbers are in our favor. That is excellent. But then there was even more twists. This was a very twisty episode, round, whatever you want to call it. Turns out that the winner of the exemption challenge gets to choose the other tribe, or the second tribe, the second group of explorers to be exempt. And, like, low-key, I wanted to be chosen just because I didn't want to have to go to tribal council. Just because I didn't want to have to go to the crossroads. I'm learning. But when they chose the red group, which were all 4 original Sandra, I understood. I got it. And that was a clear message for them, from them, for us to vote out someone that is original Queen Sandra. Spoiler alert, we did, but we had to work to get there. Now, after the challenge, but by the way, the challenge, I had a lot of fun. I wish Austin got the Rebus first, but at the same time, I thought I was pretty quick unrolling my toilet roll. Had I known that, I would have bought a less large toilet roll. I think I got an extra large or extra long, I don't know. But I had a lot of fun. Turned into a little bit of a fashion moment afterwards, which I think looked fabulous. But it was a fun challenge. And we came a close second. And had we won, I think maybe we probably would have made the same decision. It makes sense. And as much as I like that, I'm just wondering, when are the cracks going to show? When is Team George going to crack? Because when that crack happens, I don't want to be on the wrong side of that crack. I don't want to fall into that crack and have my game explode. Do I want to be the cracker? I'd rather be the cracker than the cracky, that's for sure. That's just a side thought. But it was good because Team George needed to stay together because we had the numbers. We were 5 and we were 3. And we came together, me, Austin, and Cara had a bit of a chat, and we were pretty on the same page. I like that Austin actually gave me perspective on some of the strategic ideas I put forward, which for me were a bit ill thought out. So that's on me for not being as strategic as I should. And that was something that I actually learned this round, was that I need to be a bit more strategic about consequences and not just moves. So I've taken that and I will use it and I will learn and I will grow from it. Now, once we had that half an hour chat, Rocky came in at the end, we got to know him, but we didn't talk strat with him whatsoever. We got into with the orange explorers and we were basically like, okay, here's what's going to happen. We dictated the terms of this round easily, which was great. And we were like, okay, Team George is going to split off for a little hustle. You guys split off as Team Sandra and have a little hustle, and then we will jump around. And we got together, and it was pretty like, okay, Courtney is cuckoo crazy, absolutely off chops. She's giving Laganja Estranja Season 6, come on Expedition Online, let's get sickening, kind of like putting it on for the cameras. I don't know whether that's her or that she knows the camera's on her and so she's been 150% of what she normally is, but maybe that's just, maybe I'm worried that that's her like 50%. She will annoy people. She's annoyed me. She might be nice. She might have a really nice charity. We'll see. Kristen, no bad notes. Just also a nice person. Rocky is a player though. He will be someone that is good to strategize with. So I'm glad we kept him and got rid of someone that was honestly the least threatening when I think about it. Because people want to vote for Courtney at one stage. She's not going all the way, regardless of whatever your charity is, how however close it is to your heart. Rocky could go pretty far. I could see that. But people will clock him as being pretty strategic because he's already played the compass, he solved it, blah, blah, blah. Speaking of, I don't think anybody knows it was me that has the other compass. Oh, I'm so relieved. And the only person that knows about it is Thomas. Fine. That better not bite me in the ass. But I feel like if Thomas told everyone about my compass or leaked it, unless I have good relationships with people, they will not tell me. And I will not really know or get a good idea when to play it. Maybe that's a good indicator that I need to play it if I don't think I need to play it. But I felt like that the past 2 rounds. And like I said, having an advantage does kind of burn a hole in your pocket a little bit. You have to... Well, I guess at the crossroads, I said you have to plan your whole game around something that you have now. But I think for me, I really have to convince myself. I have to convince myself that I don't have it, so I don't play different than what I would normally play without it. I need to play this game like I don't have a compass, and only use it when it's strategically necessary. I told Tom that it'll be for both of us, but I'm keeping it for myself. I'm never going to use it for him, to save him. Absolutely not. Even if he's on jury, or even if he's one of the people that votes for the people at the end to win, I will not use it on him. And I'm at peace with that. So, where was I? All the tribes got together. We had our little individual Team George, Team Sandra side hustles. And then everyone started going through the rooms and talking to each other. I got to meet Kristen. I actually never talked to Courtney that whole time. Maybe that was worrying for her. I don't know. But let's talk about tribal. But let's talk about crossroads. I'm getting better, I swear. Let's talk about crossroads. For the most part, it was a pretty normal crossroads, or what I would expect. It's mostly uneventful. But one thing that Austin let slip was that someone might have an idol, and he didn't tell me about that, probably because I didn't have time. And I didn't go into the smaller breakout rooms and stuff like that, so I'm not surprised that I didn't know. I don't think the fact that I didn't know is a detriment to my game. I just think it was a circumstance. There wasn't enough time, people already locked in rooms. I don't think it was a matter of, we don't need to tell Joseph about this, which is fine. I don't take it personally. But I kind of want to circle back about it because I thought it was important information that I didn't know, and I would regret my time in the game if somehow I went out because someone played an idol and I was collateral damage, which thankfully didn't happen. If I didn't ask the question, I would regret it, and I'm not going to play this game with any regrets. I don't want to leave with any regrets, so I'm glad I asked the question because, oh my god, Tribal absolutely blew up, and just because of a tiny question that I asked. And then it turns out that Rocky had the idol, Courtney threw him under the bus, Rocky was trying to throw Eli under the bus and Cara under the bus, and me and Aaron were just sitting there, like, not really participating, just being like, are you watching what's happening? And I started that. I think George would be proud of me asking the question. I didn't exactly intend for that to happen, but the fact that it did is amazing because now Rocky and Eli, no pun intended, have a rocky relationship because Rocky tried to go for Eli. And that's a fracture, which is something that I can build on whenever we get to merge and they're still there. That's fine. Eli probably won't let that go, and now their relationship is a bit, which is fine. Rocky said he was going to use his compass. Courtney and Kristen knew that he had a compass, so I don't know why they voted for him. That was stupid. That was a wasted vote. And, I mean, it was a wasted compass. He didn't get the majority of votes, so Rocky wasted a compass. And that's amazing. But that does mean it might be out there again, so I have to be on the lookout for another compass. Can you imagine if I had 2? Well, I will look, but I don't know where it could be. We'll find out. Stay tuned for that. And I expected what to happen was what happened. I was on the right side of the vote, which is fine, and the person that I thought was going home was going home. People in my Team George I wouldn't call it an official alliance, but we just stuck together. Everyone stayed true to their word. I think most people would stay true. Someone voted not for Kristen, who said they were going to. But I'm not too worried about that because I still was in the majority vote, which is great. I think I'm in a great position. I actually kind of like Cara now. I think she's opening up a bit more. I think it worked well with Austin. I actually haven't had much to do with Eli. I would like to get to know Eli more and talk to him a bit more because I think he and Cara are pretty close. They said they're pretty close. I'm pretty close with Austin. I think... Oh, let's talk about Erin. Erin loves me for the fact that I'm Australian, and I will ham that shit up. I will be like, oh yeah, nah, cunt, yeah, well, what, bogan, Siggy Brat Brain. Where's my Coke Zero? I want my Coke Zero. I will ham up the Australianisms of her because she loves Australians, she loves me, and I will keep that up to make sure that she loves me and we have some kind of relationship. And she's genuinely a nice person. I would love to hang out with her. But for the purposes of the game, the more I can milk this, the better. This ground couldn't have gone more perfect for me. So I'm going to keep this energy up, keep a cool head, but play the game that I'm playing at the moment, which is pretty fucking good, if I may say so for myself. Like I said, Georgia will be proud. Team George, glory or death. To the end.
So, if last 2 days were me being on cloud 9, I have now sunken down to the bottom pits of hell in Tartarus with all of the titans that Zeus banished there. And I'm just chilling there because I went from feeling great to feeling awful. So, just to recap, I was chilling, as one does. I was chilling in Team Sandra, feeling the vibes were good. I felt like our tribe was strong. I felt like we were going to win the next challenge. I felt like today was going to be easy because I couldn't come to the challenge today because I had family stuff that came up. So I was thinking, you know what? My tribe was definitely better than them last time, than George's tribe in the challenge last time. So if I miss the challenge, I think we'll still win. Nope. Tribe swap. And not even just like a normal tribe swap. It's a tribe swap into four groups of 4. So I get a text from Shane, and Shane's like, here's where you're at. Nope, I am not with a single Sandra person on my tribe. I'm outnumbered 3-1, and I love Cara, and I love Austin, I love Joseph. They're all wonderful people, but they're smart enough to know to play the numbers game. So I'm stressing. We apparently get second, which does not matter. It's not like we don't go to tribal. Only the team who wins gets to choose who is safe. So the team that wins has a majority 3-1 of, once again, Sandra has 1 and George has 3. I'm kind of happy they won, that, like, especially the fact that I'm still here because Annie's on that tribe and Annie is my, like, day one. I need Annie to be safe. So that is a plus. But the issue is the fact that they were smart enough to take the team that is comprised of all Sandra members to isolate me. And then the other group that was the orange group was with Courtney and Kristen, which sucks because Kristen is super level-headed and someone I really want to work with going forward. And as much as I love Courtney and am in an alliance with her, she is chaos incarnate in a fun way, but she is chaos incarnate and she is nuts. She freaks out about everything. She literally is like Caroline from Survivor 44. Sorry, Survivor 44. But she's a wonderful person, and I would love to work with her. But tonight, it really showed that as much as I want to use her as a shield, she is becoming more of a blind spot for me. And I know it's still day 2, but I really got to take this into account. Because when we go, first, the other... Joseph, Cara, and Austin gave me nothing when I was in the one-on-ones with just purple group. Orange, they isolated us. They were smart to make sure that everyone was in a room being watched. And I eventually got into a room with, they kicked us out basically originally, which I was fine with. Like, I get it. But they kicked all the Sandra people out, and I was like, hey, I got a compass. I can save myself. And they were like, yep, it's you. So I'm like, let's vote together. Let's vote out Eli. Because Aaron had been straight up with me, and let's just do Eli. But turns out they strong-armed them into basically making them vote me. And I realized that what they probably did tonight is they put literally of the, I think it was, there's 8 votes. 3, 8. they put probably literally 3 people on Kirsten and 2 people on me. And then we're like, hey, if you guys want to save yourself, put your 2 votes on Rocky. And that's what I'm assuming happened. Because if they don't vote me, Kristen goes. And if I don't play my idol or my compass, I go. So it was kind of like they outplayed us, but they outplayed us in a way where like I could do nothing. Like it felt very, very suffocating. And I am very much on the bottom. And as much as I love Kara, Austin, and Joseph, I'm gonna have to really claw my way back into this one. And I don't think we're gonna lose the challenge. We seem really strong, but like I really have a lot to think about. And I also have a lot to think about when it comes to Courtney moving forward, because I think people realize that Courtney is a weakness in an alliance of people because she outed my compass. And it's fine, but like she also just like lied about things. Like she said that Eli had thrown out Kara's name, but little do I know, do I blow up the fact that Kara and Eli had a really good conversation the day before, and I said it at Tribal because I'm not only am I trying to save myself, but I'm trying to save these people on the other tribe. And I was trying to save them, and I was trying to explain to them, like, hey guys, if we can pull something out of our ass, you guys will have the numbers 2 to 1. Still, they voted me, which is fine. I don't really care. But it sucks because I'm very much at the bottom after going from Cloud9. And I don't have a compass anymore, which is... I can't play as aggressive as maybe I wanted to right off the bat with having that in my back pocket. And now I'm very much on the defensive and have to figure out how to operate this game down 3-1 like LeBron. No compass in pocket anymore. But at least I got a game up. It sucks to have a move out like this on my resume so early because people can continuously bring it up. But it's a move on my resume, and that's something to move on with. And it's revealed a lot about how I can trust Courtney moving forward, and hopefully I can make some friends out of these people. They seem really nice. I got to figure out which one I can weasel in with, because my goal is if we go to a crossroads, I need them to vote. I need one of them to vote with me. My pitch is going to be, hey, I will be your number one. I will be ride or die with you if you vote with me. And the point is that just let me get to a tiebreaker and let me try to figure out what this tiebreaker is and let me see if I can win this tiebreaker. The tiebreakers are dependent on the round, but I'm basically just be like, throw me a bone. So I got a lot of climbing to do, and we haven't even finished the cross. Oh, Lord. I just got a long time ahead of me, but I'm channeling my inner Sandra, and at this point, I have to think anyone but me. I have to play a very selfish game, and at this point, I don't think there's any other way I could play. But hopefully, I can make a confessional where I'm not out. Prayers to the survivor gods, and let's see if I can find another fucking compass. Ooh.
All right, so it is day 3, and it went perfectly. I mean, minus the whole tribe swap thing, but honestly, it worked in our favor. The last time I played this game, I was screwed by the tribe swap, so I'm happy that it went in my favor. That not only did we have majority, but once we won the challenge, we also had the majority in the 2 teams that went into Crossroads. So luckily, Team Blue helped us out. They kind of like strategized for us. And then once we were in the Crossroads, it was just basically figuring out who of the 3 Team Sandra we wanted to get rid of. Rocky came in late, but I knew from the jump that Kara, Joseph, and myself should not get rid of Rocky. And then when we were all deliberating, Courtney told me that he had an idol, which kind of made me nervous, or I'm sorry, a compass, which made me nervous. And when we were in Crossroads, I was definitely trying to go after Rocky a little bit just to make him that much more willing to use the compass for himself, fully knowing that all of Team Original George had decided to go with Kristen as well. Yeah, Courtney's a wild card. I really like her spirit, and I feel like not only is she going to be good for divulging information, but I feel like she might blow up her own game and doesn't really seem like a threat. I could be wrong, but I feel like having a chaotic player is really fun. And luckily, during the Crossroads, Rocky played the idol for himself, which lucked out for him, but also lucked out for us, Kara, Joseph, and myself, because if we ever lose, he is now able to kind of be our
our easy vote out. Hopefully, if we all stay together. But yeah, it went pretty well. I'm enjoying being a little bit of a villain and kind of pushing buttons in Crossroads. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes.
Okay, so today was day 3. We just finished. Big day in the game. We came in, Team George. We all made shirts, Glory or Death shirts. And then we immediately got split up into new parties. So I was split up into the new purple party with Austin, Joseph, and Rocky, who was original Team Sandra. So off the bat, I was feeling pretty good about it because I already had a good relationship with Austin. I felt good about him from day 1, and Joseph, we're going off good vibes, and I feel good about him, so I was feeling pretty good. Rocky, we didn't get to meet him until after the challenge, and he wasn't really giving us much when we talked to him, so that was that. Then we lost the challenge. Blue saved Team Red, so that meant Team Purple and Team Orange go to Crossroads, and we were voting out one person. Team Orange was Eli and Aaron from Team George, and Courtney and Kristen from Team Sandra. So immediately Team George had the numbers, and our plan is to stay Team George strong, and that was what we were doing going into it. We did get a little twist thrown at us, because then eventually we did find out that Rocky had a compass, which was concerning. So when I spoke to Eli right before we went into Crossroads, that's when we were like, maybe we should split a little bit. So 4 of us were on Kristen, 3 of them were on Rocky, and then Rocky had a rogue vote. So we were covered either way. He went, he did save himself, so Kristen did end up going home. I was a little concerned because my name did come up at Tribal, my name did come up at Crossroads, and they mentioned how I got a vote the day before. They said that Eli mentioned my name today, which I didn't really believe at all, because Eli and I have been working closely together. We've always had good conversations. I feel like I can trust him, and I feel like he trusts me too. So that was a little weird. I think Rocky was kind of trying to just save himself at that point. But I do feel good about the new purple party with Austin and Joseph specifically, because there's 3 of us, and I think it benefits us all to just stay Team George strong until we get to the rendezvous. I do think we have to be wary of Rocky, because he is smart and he knows a lot about online games and different things where like advantages would be hidden, and he found one compass, he got one already. Who's to say he wouldn't get another one, or who's to say he doesn't already have another one? So we definitely have to be careful about that. I'm not sure what's going to happen next. I think we're all thinking that we might end up merging together. Although I do have to say the blue team, which was 3 original George and 1 original Sandra, saving all of Team Red, which was all original Sandra, definitely was strategic to give us the numbers in Crossroads, to give Team George the numbers in Crossroads. So that was nice to have that little advantage there. But it'll be interesting to see. I am definitely a little nervous that my name has come up in the Crossroads today. And then I got that vote, not really sure where the vote came from, but guess we'll find out. And that's it. I'm excited to see what will happen next.
So because of the fact that I got a new job, I was mostly out of the picture this episode, but Lord, y'all not making it easy on us with all these damn twists. We were just putting these tribes in a double tribal, and now we're going into tribes of 4. Baby, I was nervous as shit because I did not want to get squab screwed, because the likelihood of that was so high with it being random and going from 2 parties of 8 now down to 4 parties of 4, where there's not many places to hide. But thankfully, somehow, not only did I get placed on a party with all the people from my previous party, I got put in with 3 people that I wanted to build an alliance with. Like, It doesn't get any much better than this. I could not be more thrilled about it. And then after seeing the results of like what happened, knowing that now every other party has an original Team George advantage, either 3-1 or 2-1. Now that Kristen sadly got eliminated, it gives me a little bit of joy and a little bit of pride knowing that like if there's another situation where like the team that the party that comes in first in the challenge gets to save another team. If it's not us, any other party is going to save us, because since we're the only OG Sandra party, they don't want to go to Crossroads with us because we are going to be guaranteed to have the majority in any scenario. So that's why me and other members of our party were thinking, maybe if we want to meet, let's throw it and and take out one of them, because that's going to be the only way we can guarantee that one of them goes home. So yeah, simple thoughts. Ready to see what twist you start tonight that goes and disrupts any of our plans and ideas and thoughts. All right, bye.
Hey everyone, this is Bar again, coming in to tell you that I have survived. And while I have survived it, I honestly did not really enjoy the episode, and that is because of what I think the result of it might have been. So the episode started with a team swap, which I didn't like. I was like feeling pretty scared about, because we swapped into 4 teams of 4, and that is a risky spot to be in. I was like, what if I get on a team with 3 George players? Like I'd be, a dead man walking. I ended up on a team with all Sandra players. So it was me, Joshy, Josh, and Aaliyah, where I felt pretty confident with both Joshy and Josh, and I was like, I'm cool with Aaliyah as well, but I haven't had much talks with her up to this point. So I was like, I'm good with my team, and the other teams either had a red minority, red is Sandra's team color, or they were tied between red and purple, which purple, by the way, is George's team color. So we got to the exemption challenge, and we are told by Jonathan that only one team will be winning exemption, and then they will choose another team to be exempt, and the remaining 2 teams will go to a joint crossroad where one explorer will be voted out of the game. Our team was not doing well at the challenge at all, and we lost. The blue team won, which had 3 of George's player and also Annie from my group, which is great because I was like, I'm happy to see Annie safe. As I've said in my previous confessional, Annie is someone who I want to roll this game with. And then they had to choose a team to save, and I was like, honestly, please do not choose us, because we are 4 players from the same original team. We will just be a voting block. But they were smart enough to realize that, and we were saved. And so Josh had to go and do some work, but I got hella quality time with Joshy and finally Aaliyah, and I really got to know them better. And I feel like after tonight, I am much closer with both of them and have a better chance to move forward with both of them and not just Joshy. I'm still not getting the intense vibes that I got from either Annie or Rocky, but still good enough vibes to the point where I'm happy. While I am sad because I think that one of our team players got voted out, and I'll get to that in a second, I'm also happy for the time that I got to spend with them. And as far as the crossroad goes, so it was 3 of our people, Rocky, Courtney, and Kristen, and then 5 of them, one of whom, Kara, got a vote last night from one of her teammates. So the only thing I can really hope for is that our people managed to swing Kara their way and flip the script. Do I think it's likely? No. Would I like to see it happen? Please. and I will not have an answer until Thursday. It's currently Tuesday, so that's a bit nerve-wracking. If I were to hope for any of my 3 people to survive, it would be Rocky, because he's part of my core alliance. But ideally, I want all 3 of them to survive. We talked about what could possibly come next, and we said it's probably going to be another swap, either 3 teams of 5 or 2 teams of 7 and 1 person goes to exile, or we just go back to our original teams. But I don't think we're staying in teams of 4. So it was fun while it lasted, because I got to bond with Aaliyah and Joshi. And that's about it. It was a pretty, chill episode for me. Not much things happened for me, but I feel like I have managed to use the time that I was given very wisely. So until next time, I have nothing smart to say. So just until next time. I don't have anything to say other than that. Just until next time. Alright, see ya guys. Bye. Until next time. Yeah.
It's confessional time, baby. So today I learned a lot of things. I learned what Slay is. I learned who Mother is. And I also learned that I suck at puzzles. Today we had a challenge that one person, we were split into 4 groups of 4. I was lucky enough to be split into a group with all original Sandra. So I was with Bar, Aaliyah, and Josh. And I was super pumped about that. But I was very worried too. I wouldn't have wanted to lose anybody, especially Josh and Bar. I feel like a really strong connection to them both. I like Aaliyah, but I believe that she's just extremely dangerous. She's very quiet and under the radar, and she doesn't provide a shield for me. I want to have shields around me at all times, and I think Josh and Bar are louder personalities, and also Bar is more outwardly strategic. So I trust them too. So, but we were lucky enough to not win the challenge, but get chosen to be safe. Our group was chosen to be safe because we had 4 reds, and the two groups that would lose would go to a joint tribal together. And if our group of 4 would be put into a tribal with one of the other groups, we would have had red majority, and blue probably would have lost a number. And blue knew that. The tribe that won consisted of 3 blues and 1 red, Annie. So they were smart to save us so that we wouldn't definitely boot a blue member. But yeah, I didn't want to do the puzzle, but Josh was in his car and didn't have a second device. Bar was really not saying that he didn't want to do it, and he wasn't good with those kind of word puzzles. He never heard about a rebus puzzle. I knew about rebus puzzles, and Aaliyah wasn't stepping up to the plate. I didn't really want to do it, but I thought I could do rebus puzzles. I'm good with visual stuff, like pictures. But all of these rebus puzzles were words. I can barely read. No, I'm just kidding. But I had no clue. All 3 of the other tribes finished before me. I had no clue on multiple of the challenges. I had to go through 3 rebus puzzles before I got scrambled eggs. It was very embarrassing, but also very, very, very good for my game. I failed in front of everyone in this game, and it shows that I'm not a puzzle threat. I may look physical, but to everyone, I was just a failure in puzzles. So I'm really, really happy about that. It's gonna keep my target lower, and especially when the Golden Crossroads happens, and I think that's the merge, right? Yeah, so I feel happy. We had a really good bonding with Bar, Aaliyah, and myself. Josh was working, so we couldn't bond with him, but we played games. We talked about each other's lives. I got a good feel for both of them. I like them both. I still don't know if I can trust Aaliyah. I just think she has tons of ORG experience, and I don't think she'd hesitate to turn on anybody. I think Bar wouldn't necessarily turn on me, and I also think Josh wouldn't turn on me. I feel like a strong bond with them, like very. So, you know, it is what it is. Like, I definitely want to win next time. I don't want to go to Crossroads. But I'm very happy with the outcome of tonight. Like, any of my reservations or hesitations from the last vote where like Courtney voted for Annie and I was worried because I told Courtney to vote for Annie in front of Bar, went away because Bar's with me now. He didn't get a chance to talk to Courtney. Courtney's by herself. And then Annie's on a different tribe. So all of this is going to be forgotten by the time we come back together. And yeah, I feel like happy with the current position in the game. I'm not going to be Survivor confident. There definitely things can go wrong. So I just want to keep my ears and eyes out for anything that I need to like look at and take care of. So Joshy T signing off.
Hi, this is my day 3 confessional, and look, now I have another red spot on my face. What the fuck? So, a little rundown of what happened today. We got split into 4 tribes of 4, and I have that cool little advantage because I raised the most money before the beginning of the game, and that allows me to like redo a random draw. What the hell? Ugh. It allows me to just like switch the tribes up. So today I was kind of like paranoid and I was like, shit, should I switch the tribes up? But I guess I didn't realize that like my worst case scenario was like, oh my God, if we go to tribal, what is that? If we go to tribal, we have to vote out a red and I'm going to get voted out. But then I was like, wait, oh my God, even if we have to go to that tribal, it would have been together. So it was kind of just like, I'm not sure. A lot of me thinking about using the power was my paranoia. I didn't use it though. So I decided to not use the power because I think I would have been safe anyway. I think Joshy at least would have tied it for me. And I probably could have gotten Bar's vote. I mean, as long as the vote wasn't me, then it wouldn't have mattered. So I was just mainly worried about... What the fuck? I was just mainly worried about going to tribal and getting the votes. So that's why I was kind of like, do I use the power? Do I not? But I didn't use it. So I'm just going to keep it for a different time. And my worst... Well, another thing was like, if I don't use the power and I get voted out, then it's my expedition 3rd boot curse. And I didn't want to be 3rd boot again. But okay, I'm going to stop this confessional now because I have a pimple growing on my face. And it's just every night there's just another little red blemish. But okay, have a good night.